Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name's Hunter Hawk, and in today's video I'm going to be reviewing and kind of, not really critiquing, but just kind of giving suggestions to my subscribers' animal enclosures. Let's get into the video. So this is a trend that's been going around here on PetTube, the pet side of YouTube. But anyways, a lot of people have done this, so I don't even know who to give credit to for the original idea. So I guess let's just get into it. This first photo is actually from my friend Emmy's Pets. So she recently built a bunch of new reptile enclosures, like a whole build that takes up kind of her whole wall in her pet room. And it's really cool. I'll actually link a video to it in the top. Actually, I'll just link it in the description because I always forget to put the iCards. But anyway, so first, I think it's, like, it looks great. This isn't actually a really good enclosure. I like how here in this first photo you can see it has lots of, like, these fake flowers. I think those look really cool. Oh, I forgot to mention, this is a leopard gecko. I don't know which leopard gecko this one is. She has lots of leopard geckos, so regardless, it's a great enclosure for any leopard gecko. I like that it has that cork hide, and seriously, it has several hides. This is kind of like what I want my future leopard gecko enclosure to look like. I'm actually building a new one while we're stuck at home. It also has a nice water dish. I think it's great when people provide their leopard gecko with water because a lot of people don't. Now, I've never seen Peyton drink water, but I give her water still, fresh water, every single day because why not? You know, it can't hurt. So I know she has a proper temperature gradient and she uses a heat mat and thermostat. It looks like there's either a thermometer up in the air or a, what's it called? Like a humidity meter. I don't remember what it's called. But anyways, I'm not sure if that's to measure the ambient temperature or what, but it's still pretty cool and I think it looks like a great enclosure. Now let's go to the second picture. Yeah, it looks like just some more fake plants in the back, lots of enrichment and hides, and all around a good reptile enclosure. In the third picture, you can also see in the third picture that there's a humid hide, so that way her gecko can have good sheds. I personally recommend just keeping the humid hide in there all the time. A lot of people say, like, no, it's just a waste of time to spray it every day, but why not, you know? So I'm going to be rating all of these enclosures out of 10, and this one I'm going to give a 10 out of 10, so good job, Emma. This next enclosure is from @Davis_exotics with 6 S's, or I think 6. I don't know. I'll put all of these people's on the screen if they asked me to share their username. Some people didn't. So anyways, this one was submitted via Instagram. I took to Instagram and Twitter to ask you guys, like, share your reptile enclosures. You guys actually sent a lot, and I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to fit them all into this one video. So hopefully, we'll see. So this is a custom cages enclosure, which that's a really cool enclosure. For those of you who don't know, Custom Cages is just that. It's a company that makes custom enclosures. They do everything from, like, outdoor cat enclosures so that you don't have to be killing native wildlife, to huge enriching indoor reptile and amphibian and all sorts of enclosures. So I've never worked with them, obviously, but from what I've heard, they are a great company. This enclosure right here is, crap, I can't remember who this is for. Yeah, that's a ball python, I think. I think it's his ball python, Yasmin or Y'all. But anyways, you can see it has lots of, I can't tell if those are live or fake plants in the picture. Hold on. Wait, actually, I'll see if I still have, no, I don't have the message. But anyways, it has lots of plants. They look super realistic, so I wouldn't be surprised if they're live plants in the back of the enclosure. So I think that's cool. It kind of acts as a cool natural background and some nice foliage for the snake. And then there's also several, my phone's going off. There's also several hides throughout, so there's plenty of places for the snake to get that temperature gradient. And then there's also a big water dish in the front so that the snake can soak. So I would definitely say that this is a great enclosure too. So far, I've only given out 10 out of 10s. Oh no, it looks like the battery's low, so I think I'll film one more like enclosure and then we'll wait and charge the camera and then come back. So anyways, this next enclosure was submitted by Annika's Animals. So this is a 20-gallon long, I'm pretty sure that's what she said, I can't remember. I think it's a 20-gallon long and it's for her leopard gecko. So I think this size is the perfect size for a leopard gecko. Yeah, we'll see a leopard gecko enclosure later on in the video that's too small. And just when we're talking about that, think about this one. It's great. It looks like it has lots of hides. It does have lots of hides. And I think it's cool how she has those pebbles around the hide that I would assume is the humid hide. It also has lots of fake plants, which actually she has one of the exact same Exoterra plants that I have in my leopard gecko's enclosure. And she has a couple fake logs. I think those are very cool. And here's just another photo. You can see the screen top and in the back the thermostat. And it's the exact same thermostat that I use for Peyton's enclosure. Oh, you can also see there's a little box of Eco-Earth. So in Peyton's new enclosure, I'm gonna do that too. That kind of inspired me to do that. I think that's good because then it's not all Eco-Earth, but if they want to dig something, they can go in there and explore around in that, so it's good to have different textures. And it looks like she uses paper towel as the substrate, which I've used paper towel in the past without a problem. I just don't think it looks the greatest, but it works perfectly, and it's super easy to clean, and it's super inexpensive. And it also has a nice screen top so that there's no risk of the gecko climbing out or anything, and it keeps the humidity low just like a leopard gecko likes it. Okay, I got the camera charged and I think we're ready to go again. So this next enclosure here is from one of my subscribers named Josh. Thanks Josh for letting me use a picture of your enclosure in this video. So I actually got a message from this viewer a little while ago like, hey, do you have any tips on caring for a leopard gecko? So I just gave him some advice, and then he actually has been cool to keep me updated along the process. So I received a picture of the new gecko that he got, so I think that's pretty cool. So it is a really pretty looking gecko. It looks like a normal, which is what Peyton is, which honestly, normal leopard geckos are some of the prettiest leopard geckos. I just love their little black spots. That being said, I also got a picture of the enclosure for this video, and I'm just not a huge fan of this particular enclosure. So in my personal opinion, a 20-gallon is the minimum size for a leopard gecko, and in the opinion, I guess that what I'm trying to say is that's not just my opinion, that's basically the standard in the hobby, in the reptile community in general. Now a lot of reptile stores and PetSmart and Petco will try to say like, oh no, they're good in a tin, but that is absolutely false. A leopard gecko can't have the proper thermal gradient in a 10-gallon enclosure because they have to have a room temperature side and a 90-degree side, and you can't really have the proper transition between those two if you're using the right size heat mat in a 10-gallon. A 20-gallon is perfect for that though. So I would just say this enclosure does need to be upgraded. It could be a larger tub or a large, like a 20-gallon tank. I think Petco is having a $1 per gallon sale right now, and they're doing curbside pickup. Obviously don't go into the store, but order online and pick it up. And yeah, it's $20, so that's gonna be much better and give your gecko a better quality of life, because right now in this tin it's not great. Another thing I would definitely say is this reptile carpet. I personally am not a fan of reptile carpet because it harbors bacteria. So basically you have to wash your reptile carpet in the washing machine every time your gecko poops and stuff, and it's just not worth it. So I would say switch to paper towels or something, that way you can take out the paper towel that the gecko pooped on and not have to waste the other ones, and then just replace it. It looks like this has a nice sized water dish. I think that that's a perfect sized water dish for a leopard gecko. Just make sure you're filling it with clean, dechlorinated water. And these fake plants on the side, those are cool. But yeah, it definitely needs a bigger enclosure, and it needs to have 2 hides. And also it looks like there's a calcium dish. I think that's good too. I use a calcium dish in mine as well, but you also have to be sure to supplement your gecko. So one other thing is that there is a red heat bulb on top. So that's actually completely not beneficial to your leopard gecko. I was like, hey, does it also have a heat mat and a thermostat? And this viewer said yes. So that's good, which if it has a heat mat and a thermostat, it doesn't need this heat bulb. So leopard geckos, they aren't like a bearded dragon or an animal that's going to bask. They only absorb the heat through their belly, and that's what allows them to digest their food properly. So if it's a proper sized enclosure, it'll have no problem without that heat lamp. And especially since it's red, it's going to cause actually some vision problems. So yeah, I would definitely give this enclosure a 5 out of 10 because it's not like a 5-gallon enclosure, but also it definitely needs to be upgraded to a 20-gallon at the minimum, or something like a tub with equal floor space. But by the way, this is a really pretty gecko. This next one is from another pet Instagrammer and pet Twitter user. So basically it's at REM or RIM Exotics on Twitter and on Instagram. So this is an African fat-tailed gecko enclosure, and it says it's an 18 by 18 by 18 Exoterra, and it has UVB, heat lamp, and a heat pad, and they're all on a thermostat. So I'm not sure how big an 18 by 18 by 18 is in floor space. So that's 324 square inches of floor space. And then let's see what like a 20-gallon is. So perfect. This 18 by 18 by 18 Exoterra is actually giving more floor space. I guess I could have just done the math in my head, because a normal 20-gallon is 24 and a quarter, I think, by 12 and a half. So this is gonna have like a little bit more floor space. So that's great, and it looks like it has a heat lamp and a heat pad, which is good. It has to have that belly heat, and it's not a red light. A red light is not gonna be good for this animal, just like a leopard gecko. It's going to cause some vision issues. So if you are going to use a heat lamp, which I don't recommend, be sure to use a white bulb. But in this case, it's good because it also keeps the air temperature warm for those plants so that they can properly grow. And UVB. I think that UVB is a good addition. I don't personally know much about using UVB with an African fat-tailed gecko. I know it's not necessary, but at the same time, it is considered beneficial by many people. And here's just some more pictures. It looks like it has lots of hides and... oh, I think these plants are fake plants. Wow, I wouldn't have guessed that. Wow, that's cool. So it's got like a cork hide, it looks like, and some naturalistic soil, probably eco-earth, which is great for African fat-tailed geckos. Not for leopard geckos, but it's great for African fat-tails. So this next one is by, I don't know how to pronounce her name, I'll put it on the screen right now. I think it is. And her @ on Twitter is @momregretsme. That's terrible. But anyways, it is a bearded dragon enclosure. So I completely forgot to ask actually how big this is, but it looks like it's maybe a 75 or 120 gallon, somewhere in between those that range probably. And I don't have experience with bearded dragons, but I have done lots of research with them, and I know quite a bit about them. So I think that this is great. I think paper towel is a great substrate for most terrestrial lizards that need low humidity. And it looks like it has a nice hide, several nice hides, and then a cool big water dish. If it uses that, that's great. Then a PVC hide, so it has at least 3 hides, plus some nice foliage. And I'm not sure why there's water on the glass, but I guess that doesn't really matter. And then there's a stick so that it can get up to its basking platform, or basking light. I don't know what I'm trying to say. And it has a nice cord to a thermometer or thermostat probe, which is important so that you're not accidentally giving your gecko, or not gecko, bearded dragon, too little or too much heat. So all in all, I would say this is probably a 9 out of 10. Actually, we'll just say 8.5 out of 10 enclosure. And the only reason it's not 10 out of 10 is because the other 2 of the other enclosures that I've given 10 out of 10 to were just super naturalistic looking. and looked like they had lots of perfect, beautiful enrichment.